Hi there, my name is Samantha Rimbizai Bajure, and today I'm going to be reading an excerpt from one of the short stories I contributed to the anthology Brilliance of Hope. The story is called Barcode. Love Mo arrives that evening and promises to get you a good lawyer, which he does. He brings you essentials to live on, but most of them are stolen on your second day at Brookhouse during a short stroll outside for fresh air. The lawyer is paid thousands of pounds to ensure your deportation hearing is expedited. The days in the detention center are long, but the nights are even longer. Felix induces tangible fear for your life with his thunderous, intimidating rants, and Adebi's sonorous theatrical prayers intermittently startle you out of your sleep. He even sets his alarm at 3 a.m. to demand his freedom and to rebuke this bondage in the name of Jesus. You spend your birthday in the detention center, and Love Mo returns to celebrate with you, this time with Benilda. Like you, they are devastated by the state of affairs. They've brought a small birthday cake from Asda, a mid-sized suitcase full of your clothes and a few things to take home. The gesture brings tears to your eyes. Before they leave, they promise you everything will be okay and will do everything in their power to get you out of there. After a week in the Haylis Detention Center, your lawyer confirms your departure the following day. That night, a concoction of excitement and the usual racket keeps you half awake till the early morning hours. Adebayi, who has now warmed up to you, his African brother, is distraught that you're leaving so soon. He prays for your journey mercies all night and asks God to favor him too. Felix screams and punches the wall and ceiling above you in response, and the predictable cycle of drama unfolds. The detention center officers turn up to offer first aid and to quiet things down. You finally fall asleep. When your alarm sounds at 6 a.m., your eyelids are heavy and reluctant to separate. A barnyard rotting manure-type odor slaps your nostrils as you return to consciousness. That burst sewage pipe needs fixing pronto, you cogitate. Through crusty eyes, you seem to see a dangling figure resembling a rattan egg-shaped hammock swing. Unsure whether you're still asleep, you rub the remnants of slumber off your aching eyes, and the fog of exhaustion slowly begins to dissipate. It becomes as clear as day that a body is suspended from the metal railing of the upper bunk of the bed across the cell. Anchored by a thick leather belt tightly wrapped around its neck, the lifeless mass of flesh has long succumbed to asphyxiation. It rocks ever so gently and peacefully, like a hammock swing resisting the gentle nudge of a patio breeze. Its buttock nearly touches the concrete floor, and its legs outstretch in your direction. Beneath it, a small puddle of urine mixed with a final deposit of fecal matter explains the offensive reek. When you tilt your glance upwards to corroborate your fear, the rigor mortis on Adebayi's face confirms to your horror that he has left the building. Thank you.